Now there's no reason whatsoever to check the taper in this crane cam. They told me to check the heel of the cam and slide it down the cam, and they said it should have a 1.5 taper on a new cam. So you slide straight down the cam, and it's got taper. But we don't really care. All we care is that it works. We're just going through the process. Joe had to take the kids to the doctor, but I got one of my cronies here to help, and we're going to put this used crane cam in and see if that solves the problem. There was an interesting guy last night in the comments of the last video that said, I know this is a reach, but hear me out. He said, you know that cam was bent 7/1000ths when you got it, and so you straightened it out. But what if it was machined, bent 7/1000ths, and then you straightened it out and, you know, kind of caused this problem? And I'm not going to say that's not right. I don't know. We're just reaching for straws here. I've tried everything in the world except replacing the cam, because the man at Comp Cam said that these cams are so good and the quality control is so good that it just can't be the cam. And so that's why I've tried 3 sets of lifters and swapping push rods and swapping rocker arms, etc., etc. So, but I guess we're gonna find out today. If we put this used cam in there and they turn, I think in an hour we're gonna know if this is a cam problem or not. And I can't think of anything else, really. I mean, you know, it's been a challenge. Okay, we're going back together with our oiling the lifters and putting some Iski lube on the base. Actually, I'm supposed to wipe that part off. But anyway, we're going back together with the crane cam and Ulinati lifters. I wish I would have had some, I wish I would have had some Mopar performance lifters, or some, I wonder about melting lifters. I wonder if they have this goofy tooth piston thing instead of, I might try some of those next. But anyway, you see what's happening. We're going back together, and in an hour or two we're going to know a lot. All the lifters are turning. It's funny how some of them are turning in the opposite direction. And the Hughes website says that's fine, you know, but still, I don't think I've ever seen that. We're going to crank it up and give you a good view of everything turning. So Steve, it looks like we're going to be done tonight. I'll take it home and get everything else taken care of. We're going to set the idle before we take it off. We've got the timing set, and so then all you have to do is set it in your car. You don't have to check the carb or the timing or the anything, fuel pumps on it. So It'll just be a drop-in deal for you. Go ahead and crank it up, Joe, and let's get a picture of all these things turning. It's loud, folks. I mean, we thought we had everything going on. Comp told us originally that there's no way the cam could be wrong. The quality control's too good. Him and I talked about the lifters. He guided me through how to check that out. And the lifters had crown on them. And then he told me about the taper that was supposed to be on the cam. I think he said 1.5 thou across the base circle, and that didn't work. So we went to the used cam with the Lonati lifters, and we thought everything was fine. All the valves, all the lifters were rotating, everything was wonderful. And guess what? When we idled it down to, we had it idling high to, in case we needed to break in these lifters to the cam, and everything. And I mean, I've never run new lifters on a used cam, but that's legitimate. That's in the factory service manual. People have lifters go bad, and so it's legitimate. But, well, that didn't work. Now, that cam had less taper. That had about 1 thou taper across the base circle. The comp had about 1.5 thou, which is what he told me it should have. Now, I don't know why, but this last bullet I bought has 2.5 taper, and I've never seen a cam that had the taper on the label, so that was interesting. But so I've spent the last 2 days studying the problem here, what's going on. And I'm sure I've read a lot of misinformation. One real reputable article from people who are supposed to know said the lifter's supposed to turn 360 degrees every time. No, I've never seen one turn that much, and I think that's just totally wrong. But I've got to, Monday morning, I've got to get with some kind of smart people on cams. You can't call some of these people because they don't want to admit to anything, or they don't want to say, So I don't know what to do, but I'm going to find somebody that knows something and find out what to do about it. It'd be kind of fun to stick that cam in there at 2.5 taper, and I ought to check that thing anyway and see if that's what it really has. It's a Hemi cam, but still you could slide it in there and put the lifters in. They'd be on the wrong, but that would work. It'd be interesting to see if they turn. But the bottom line is, it doesn't matter. It's going to have a new cam. We know the comp cam won't work. So that 800's gone, and now let's try to find something that'll work. Hughes has got a good cam reputation. I need to call them and talk to them and see what they say. And I don't know what to do. But I've got to do some other things early in the week, and I'm going to find something out and figure out what it's going to take, and then we'll go from there.